gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling. Phoenix fly. What you gonna do So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling. Phoenix fly.
KDA, should we show them how we do it every day? Let's get it. Kali that girl, Kali go girl, Kali gon' stop, Kali gon' skirt, Kali got a job, Kali go to work. 뜨거워 언제나 don't get burned. 넘쳐 흘러물 than a buffet, 죽여주잖아 like a buffet. 누가 감히 on my outfit? 그 문 열지 마, that's a rough day. 당겨봐 your mark 'cause I'm greater than. 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미. But all of my numbers are talking back. 부루마법 message monopoly. 눈종이 돈이나 real money 필요 없대. 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it, go get it, go get it. 더 미션 눈을 못 떼, 못해 그래 너도 get it 'cause I got it different.
All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep down. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it in, never running low. child, you would wait and watch from far away. But you always knew that you'd be the one that would while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream. From dust. From dust. Coming at you live, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts in twos, 'cause that's what the baddest do. Never going back, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, 'cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts in twos, 'cause that's what the baddest do.
I'll melt your face off, disappear, I'm your eraser. Aim the cut just like a razor. Murked up in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me, I got all the lines on ring. Knock 'em dead, turning heads, I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, cut up to the rock. 유행 선두자, 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You like roll, 달리 you도 gold. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, 'cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. Run away, 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐, 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss, 간지 with the sauce. 원하면 줄게.
I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say.
dance, look at the go, call it a flex.
This ain't where the legends come from. You know what a hero looks like. Pretty little flower, won't you sit back down and go play nice? So keep talking, keep laughing. One day you wish you had it. Other people on fire, fire. Maybe it's time they meet their dragon. If you're gonna hold me down, you're not gonna let me in into your castle walls. None of you can keep them. 'Cause if I gotta burn it all down, then we'll burn it all down. My oh my, look at who ends up bigger this time. And if I gotta break it all down, then let's break it all down. Bye, playing with fire, and we'll burn it all down. This is where the bruises come from. This is when the game gets ugly. These blood, sweat, tears keep running. Licking my plate 'cause I'm so hungry. Keep talking, keep laughing. One day you'll see what happens. Other people on fire, fire. It's about time they meet their dragon. If you're gonna hold me down, you're not gonna let me in into your castle walls. None of you can keep them. 'Cause if I gotta burn it all down, then we'll burn it all down.
Welcome everybody to week 6 of the VRS. It is I Banana Bread XD with my co-host Turk. As we start getting into the draft already, nothing too crazy, just a lot of focus bands here in the jungle from Lycoris, and then PFG looking to focus a lot of mid lane bands here.
Yeah, Swag already drawing a couple bans there. I was wondering if he'd actually get 3 banned this series, but 2 bans seems to be good enough for the time being for game 1 here. We're going to have to see exactly what ends up coming in for first pick here for LYC, but if I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be that Jinx. We've seen her rise in priority quite a bit ever since the buffs especially, but yeah, when it comes to B1, you have a few options, obviously. The Maokai actually seems to be doing pretty well in LEC as well, but generally what you see a lot in NA right now, especially in the amateur scene, is either a Zai or a Jinx, so...
Yeah, Jinx is rising in high prevalence just in general, just because her hyper carry potential in her early game isn't too bad. Melio first pick, that is very interesting.
Okay.
Melio is a pretty good pick, especially with like when you're playing with like a heavy range comp, or if you're kind of playing with a very good poke composition, very good disengage. And Volibear with the second pick, and then Jinx there grabbed also. So very interesting to grab that Volibear with the R1.
Yeah, I've done a fair amount of research here, and Swag absolutely loves the J4, which was banned unfortunately here for him, but he also likes the Volibear too, so those high priority, those high like intensity early game junglers is really what he looks to play around with, and they're going to be able to grab that. And then of course they do also have that Jinx, which is a nice pick. Obviously it's a good blind, but also you deny it away from the Melio, which I think is also pretty important here. And this is a lane that has been getting a lot of credibility as of recent. Basically the new Nami Lucian, like almost like Nami 2.0 type of deal. This Melio champion seems to be crazy strong right now, and that pairing with the Lucian is insane too.
Yeah, as a support main, Melio procs Lucian's passive a lot, especially with the Melio W and just the 2 charges of the E. So as you said, this is basically Lucian Nami 2.0, but just a little bit better. Melio is a little less is a little more self-sufficient than Nami, especially with the Q being able to knock back, and Janna being picked up here for that Jinx. So surprised not to see some kind of more of a better buffing enchanter such as a Lulu or a Karma in there, but Janna is also a great disengage pick. So Wukong Volibear most likely being locked up into those jungle spots, but still can be flexed around. But Udi are going to be banned away here, so it looks like they know that Wukong is not going jungle, and they're kind of calling the bluff there. Same thing with the Shen. No, it's not going top. So just a lot of focus bans towards the top and jungle side for both these teams.
Yeah, so far we're seeing a couple bans here. Looks like with that Malphite probably going to be banned there as well. Looks like they're anticipating like an R4 topside pick here for the Goblins. So we're gonna have to see exactly what they decide to do here. The Janna is pretty interesting to me. I haven't seen Janna a lot, and I do know that Ragnar plays Lulu a ton. I feel like the Lulu could have been, as you mentioned, a really, really good pairing with that. But I think the Janna is going to offer a lot of great disengage, and with the Wukong, you can tell already what LYC is kind of looking to do here, and that's looking to engage, especially off that Wukong, that level 6. So that R4 pick will be coming in here any second here, and when it does, it'll be interesting to see how PFG kind of wants to set up this whole second side, or the second phase for their picks, and it's going to be the Jace.
So right now, PFG, they have an interesting comp because they're running like poke, kind of like a pseudo poke with Jace,
Yeah.
Jinx, but you also have the Volibear, which is like kind of like the weird little odd man out. They nerfed Volibear a couple patches ago with the Q movement speed, so trying to catch up to that Lucian is a little hard, but you're pretty much a menace in the side lane. But
Yeah, the Goblins seem to be able to play really well around Swag in that early game priority. So that Volibear is like the quintessential pick, besides of course the GA4, which was banned as I mentioned earlier. So we'll see how well they can pilot that, but that Volibear is definitely a bridge right now. Wants to be able to try to snowball as many champions as he can, preferably that Jinx right now. But the Jace, I like that pick. That's nice. Obviously, that was a flex for the R4. We're gonna get the Ornn in the RA response, which is a strong front to back team fight with a little bit of pick coming in here for LYC. That's pretty solid second phase, round off for them. And then we're actually going to get the R5 Swain, which I think is pretty spicy here. I'm thinking I'm liking that one.
you don't see Swain very often, but Swain's scaling potential with, the similar to Scion, just infinitely scaling with the HP. Then you get a demonic embrace stacked on top of it. So pretty much you just have infinite scaling damage at that point. So Swain is a very interesting pick for that mid lane, and
Yeah.
especially against a team that's going to be going in a lot.
Exactly. That's the key to it. That R5, it's a final counter pick, so this is obviously what PFG decides to do. And that Swain is 100% going to do really well into that Wukong, into the Ahri, the Lucian, all those champions that require them to go into that Swain. So it's a good pick if you're able to not even necessarily get ahead in the early game, but actually able to maintain as time goes on. Swain will definitely be able to check you when it comes to stats. So that's a nice pick. That's R5 counter. And overall right now, I'm liking the team comps here from both sides. I think they actually have a lot of coherence with each other. I think crucially right now for the Goblins, they have Swag on one of those early game junglers that he's done so well with in previous series. So we'll see exactly how he's able to pilot that, but I expect a lot of attention being put on towards Swag, making sure he can get ahead as much as he needs to, so he can then facilitate the laners that he has. And a lot of attention I expect to be put towards that bot lane early on, if possible. If one kill on that Jinx can happen, it'll be great. The question is whether or not the Janna is able to provide enough CC for that Volibear to be able to net that kill.
Yeah, like I'd expect that bot lane to be for Lycoris to be pretty darn aggressive. Volibear again, like those nerf to his Q, it's really hard to gap close, but hopefully Janna can, follow up with some of those slows, try to get the slippery pickle that Lucian is in that bot side. But really, I mean, it's a lot of this is just a scaling game for Lycoris. They're playing for a hard scaling game for that top side, and then every now and then you can get that roam potential from the Ahri because she will outpush Swain, and Wukong, it will alleviate that pressure around that top side, so or the bot side. So Wukong should have most priority there. Get a couple early Drakes, get that stacking down early, so they can look for those full-on team fights with the Wukong and the Ornn.
Yeah, we're actually going to see, right now at this point, you're kind of looking right now if you're Lycoris, and you're kind of figuring out exactly how you want to play this early game. And you have a couple options. Focusing on that Ahri, as you mentioned, naturally she's going to have that push, so she will be able to impact those side lanes, which I know Lycoris does extremely well. So we'll see exactly how they play around that. But Wukong pre-6 isn't exactly the strongest. Now, of course, you still have the Ahri to be able to pair her with, but once those ultimates do come online, that 2v2 is going to be really strong. It's just whether or not PFG is able to kind of start getting ahead of that early on. Because pre-6, they definitely have the advantage, there's no doubt about that. But come the ultimates, especially that 2-item power spike on that Lucian, that's when LYC is really going to start to hit their power spikes with this team comp. And then after that, once they're able to front to back, you can see the coherency that that team comp does have. A lot of engage, a lot of frontline, enough to be able to provide for that Lucian. It's not that late game carry that you're traditionally going to see with the front to back team fight, but you also in this case have that Melio buffing the Lucian, so it's a nice composition. I'm pretty interested to see exactly how both of these teams are going to play out. But so far so good for game one for me.
So right now, both teams are tied in the standings 4-1 for match scores.
Yep.
So just looking based on what you've known about these teams so far, who do you think is going to take the cake in this best of 5 and kind of pull forward more in the standings?
Right now, it's a tough thing to say. What I can say for sure is that I want to double check and I want to make sure that I've got this right here. But I'm going to take a look at the standings. It's really interesting though, because Lycoris, the LYC, I feel like they need to kind of be able to pull this one off here because they're actually going against DOGG next week, and they're also 4-1 here, so they have quite the series coming up for the next couple weeks here. While PFG, they actually get a chance to play, I believe it's Ace, which is actually sitting at a 1-4 record right now. So the pressure, I feel like, while of course it's really important for both teams to win, LYC no doubt has a harder run when it comes to closing out this season. So at the end of the day, who do I think is going to win? I don't quite know, but what I will say is that PFG plays really well around their jungler Swag. He's got one of the champions that he wanted to play, and I'm surprised that he was actually allowed to grab it. The J4 or the Volibear seem to be the two major picks for him. Whenever he gets those champions, from what I've noticed, he's absolutely been able to pop off. And of course, the Hecarim ban coming in too, so it could have been an option for 3 bans. We'll see how Swag can play on that Volibear. It's a comfort pick. It's an early game champion. He has a lot of impact, so we'll see if the agency, if they're actually able to do something, or whether or not LYC can actually start to scale and get those Ornn items. Obviously, get the Lucian once he's rolling with those 2-item power spikes. It's going to be interesting. There's a timer for sure.
Yeah, I really expect both these teams to really start popping off around like the 8-ish minute mark once we start pushing farther towards that mid game. But right now, I mean, it's a bit tough to say for both these teams. You know, you got a very strong jungler here and a Swag for the side of what is that, Lycoris?
For PFG, the Goblins?
Or PFG.
Yeah.
And then you have the slightly less intuitive early game there with the Wukong. So really, it all comes down to kind of how these junglers want to play around the priority in each of their lanes. But as we wait for the spectator delay to go down a little bit, we're going to be taking a little break and we'll be right back with y'all.
Take care. See you soon.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get into game one between Lycoris and PFG. As already, we're going to be looking for some crazy shenanigans here from this side of PFG here. No, never mind. They're just looking for a quick little 5 point. But otherwise, we're going to look down at the rosters. You know them, you love them. You've been watching them for about 6 weeks. You got Woody in the top lane, Brain Dead. Yeah, Brain Dead Donkey in the jungle, Dive in the mid lane, Chris 10 and Crits in that bot side. And for the side of PFG, you got Warrior Tofu, Swag 2028, Afro Zonite, Slippery Jalapeno, and Ragnar the Kosher. But for now, very basic summoners, very basic runes here. Nothing too crazy to expect from both these sides. You do see comment from um the Orin though.
Orange.
So that's a
Yeah,
very
you do.
interesting pick. Gotta like those kind of picks though.
Yeah, you won't be proccing the grasp too much in that top lane by any means. The Comet you will be proccing for sure, so maybe you'll see something like a Q max from the Ornn, maybe W max. We'll see exactly how that plays out. But regardless, that Ornn just wants to be able to survive, start scaling up. Once he hits that 6, he can start to group up with his team and then force those fights before that 2-item power spike comes in from the Jay's top side. But for now, we're going to start to see a little bit of trading towards this mid lane, kind of set up priority on it, so he's able to get the advantage. And we're going to see Swag right now. He's starting bot, so he has a chance to 3 camp bot if he wants. Maybe look for an early gank on that Melio Lucian lane. Lucian does take cleanse though, so something to quickly note with Crisp. But you could also see an option where he just pass up towards top side, something more traditional, while of course you see Brain Dead Donkey where he's starting top. Looks like he might be doing a full clear, which is something pretty traditional on Wukong, and expect him to be pathing bot here shortly too.
Lots of aggressive trading you can see in those in those solo lanes already. Dive gonna get the level 2 priority first, gonna start pushing forward. Same thing with that top side. Warrior Tofu just about to get level 2 here off one minion, so gonna kind of threaten that all in there. But it looks like Swag probably gonna go for a full clear, look for that top side gank, because right now, no, maybe not. Warrior Tofu, the lane is kind of pushing in a little bit, so it's mostly just looking for that priority, grabbing that Scuttle Crab. Swag is about to be spotted. No, actually, no, the ward expired before it could spot him. So right now, not too crazy. Just very, very marginal gold leads in the solo lanes. Obviously, bot side, they're gonna get that
Oh, here
all
we
in
go.
there. Gonna get that movement speed, flash forward with the piercing light. Not gonna have enough auto attack damage to get Ragnar down, but does not use any summoners.
Wow.
Crit's gonna get chunked to about 2/3 HP. Mid lane, it's gonna be a solo bolo there. Dive getting level 3 first and getting a solo kill there using both summoners. So that's gonna be first blood going over to Dive on that Ari.
Yeah, it was a really clutch play there. Actually buffering the charm itself there and then flashing in, landing it on Afro, and Afro actually doesn't burn anything in response, so it just happens quick, calm, collected, and Dive picks up the first blood there. He does expend both summoners, but he's definitely happy to do that. And we actually do see Swag here pathing towards that top side. Don't believe he has been spotted on any wards yet. I don't think he walked into the topside river bush. Warrior taking some damage, but Swag right now hasn't been able to get too much too much of anything going right now on his first clear. Looks like he is pathing towards top though. Maybe he has a window on Woody.
Yeah, he does know Woody does go a little aggressive here. Woody does have Flash going in there with the Q, gonna stun
my
him up.
God.
Oh, good buffer with the W, flashing away under the tower, but will still get taken down by the bear. So that's going to be the second kill of the game already, pre 4 minutes going over, and looks like Brain Dead Donkey's gonna look for a little bit of invading action here on the bot side.
Yeah, Swag showing top, netting that kill. Of course, the first blood coming in. Brain Dead Donkey in response is going to be pathing towards the spot side, looking to take that Gromp away, at least denying something in the meantime. Looking to just get that 6. Once Wukong has that ultimate, of course he's got 2 of them now. So Riot thought that was a good idea when they ended up buffing that champion. So that 6 is going to be paying dividends for that Wukong, and we'll see if something can happen here towards this mid lane. That's something I wouldn't be surprised to see at all. Dive looking like he's really starting to control the pace of this lane too.
Yeah, getting in the solo lanes usually, especially when you're the aggressor champ, but hold off on that thought there. Bot side, they're gonna be looking for a bit of a fight. Afrozonate is gonna be the first to roam down. Lots of vision in that bot side here for this side of Lycoris, but otherwise not really going to amount to much. Slippery Jalapeno and Ragnar gonna be able to reset. No sums blown, but first Drake gonna be spawning is an Infernal Drake. But overall, I mean, it's pretty even. Back to the original thought though. If you're in a solo lane and you are the aggressor and you get the first blood or the first kill, it pretty much kind of dooms the lane for a bit because then you just have to play really safe. Mid lane is a little less punishing just because it's a shorter lane. You have a little more leeway to kind of back up, but obviously you're a little more prone to ganks. Warrior Tofu actually getting chunked out a lot here, but Swag is already back up here, gonna buffer
Right,
the
damage.
stun once again, but the shock blast gonna go through Warrior Tofu, claiming another kill for himself,
Yeah, and it's
or
been a
just
hot
a
minute.
what a kill.
It's been a hot minute since Volibear's really been in the meta, so that damage is something that's kind of catching me off guard here, actually, too, as well. That's not an Orin, mind you. He does have Comet, so he's not the absolute tankiest at the moment, especially because he didn't quite have items at that time either. But Swag, that's a repeat gank now. That's a second kill going topside. That Jace, once he hits that 2-item spike that we mentioned a little bit earlier, he's going to be off to the races. Ideally, here we go. Little trade. Nothing too crazy. But ideally, that Jace is able to just get this wave pushed in, maybe grab one plate for his trouble, another one. Looks like he actually might have been able to grab two, and just take that reset, spend the gold that he just got from that gank, and as a result, looks like we're going to see Lycoris taking this first dragon.
Yeah, first drag of the game, taking about 6 minutes and 30 seconds here. Slight gold lead to the side of the Goblins, but teleport going to be used up in that top side by the Jace. So it looks like he's opting for the lethality build, not the Gore Drinker build. So either build, not bad. Really, really good. Gore Drinker just scales slightly better, makes you more of a bruiser, makes you a little more beefy for threat. But it looks like topside Woody gonna go all in here. Shock blast gonna come through. There comes the Orin Horn, gonna get stunned up, gonna get knocked back, denying the Orin Horn. So that's gonna be 2 kills going over to Swag. Rift Herald gonna be spawning up in less than a minute here, and Woody is not having a fun time in that top side.
Guess who's back? Swag again on this pick right away. He's played the Volibear to much success in previous series, and already he's off to the races. That's the three-peat gank up topside, and again, it's paying dividends there. And unfortunately, you mentioned it, yeah, Woody, he's down 0-3. It's unfortunate he's going to miss that wave. The wave's now going to start to push away from him, and actually, there's another window where Swag can look for a gank as well. As he passes towards his topside here, there's a chance that maybe he does for a 2, maybe a 3 camp, and then repeat ganks top again on that bouncing wave. But here we go.
As a bot side, there's going to be a double knock up there. It's going to be 1v1 with the ADCs, but they're going right on top of Ragnar. Ragnar still has the flash, going to flash out and out.
Oh,
Slippery
no.
Jalapeno able to be slippery AF as he will get over the wall, but he will get met by dive and he will get taken down. As right now, Afrozana going to have to be careful. He's going to have 2 more dashes there. He's going to get ignited, going to flash on forward with the Orb of Deception, going to pop the ultimate, going to get some healing, but it's not going to be quite enough. Actually, maybe will be gonna pull him back under the tower. Maybe gonna force a kill. Heal comes out, but Wukong gonna dive on through. But he will get taken down here as a trade. So it will be overall a relatively even trade, or just 2 for 1 actually, in favor of Lycoris. But for now, gold lead is still in favor of the Goblins.
Yeah, and while we do see the Wukong diving in there, getting that kill, it's great, but he is, of course, going to be down to tempo. He does go down for that, so he trades 1 for 1 in that mid dive. And as a response, we see Swag. He's netting that Rift Herald, pathing up towards his top. In the Tribush right now, the pings are coming in, so he's definitely been spotted. They're well aware that this Volibear is here, and we are going to see this Herald drop, I imagine, coming in here, cracking this first turret. Could be a little early, though, but Swag.
Yeah, they really just want to funnel the gold into that Jace right now, but jumping right on top of Woody, he will get taken
The
down
damage.
by Warrior Tofu. So much damage, lethality, tankiness, everything you possibly need. As the first Rift Herald will get popped, and first tower will go over to the side of the Goblins. As they knew he was coming, but there's very little
That's
they
right.
can do with the gold lead they got.
That's the key right there. Yeah, Brain Dead Donkey. He recognizes to be topside, but he used all of his abilities earlier, expending the flash to get that kill on Afro. And while he does get it, he doesn't have the ultimate now, and he's a sitting duck for Swag. The PTA wants that procs, the amount of damage that Warrior Tofu brings him with the gold lead that he has at this point. That top side of the map is just a disaster right now for LYC. And bot side, things are going okay. You don't really have much of an advantage though if you're LYC. The solution Melio will take a little bit of time to scale. That 2-item spike that will come in inevitably. Crisp and crits will be really strong, there's no doubt. But at this point in time right now, there's no doubt that they're down in tempo when it comes across the map. We're sitting on about a 3k gold lead at 10 minutes already too.
Yeah, it's like I'll say it like this, just like a unpopular opinion, I guess. If your singular lane, like let's say you're like your solo lanes is like super behind, and you know they're getting camped a ton, kind of gotta sack it. Like especially with the Ornn, there's very little you can do. Like Ornn just will get meat. Like no matter what, Ornn's gonna be useful. Ornn's a tank. Like all he needs is levels, and then he'll be useful because he's actually keeping up in levels pretty well right now. He's only like they're actually like neck and neck in levels. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's just kind of you gotta sack it and just let him scale up.
Yeah, you're right, and that's a key thing too. It's actually scaling with the levels. That's really all you need as the Ornn. Eventually, you will get the items that you need. You don't need much gold funneled into you, so even if you do get a response kill topside by trying to meet up there, that in that case I can understand because of course the Rift Herald's up there. You want to deny the first turret going in, but sometimes you got to consider cutting your losses while you're ahead. And hey, there's no doubt, even if that Ornn gets a kill, it's not gonna change anything at all. Instead, I think you should be focusing as much attention as you can on this mid lane. We saw a solo kill coming from there early on from Dive, but he actually could be
Oh,
in trouble
dive.
himself.
He's gonna get hit with the root. He will try to run away there. Gonna get the root with the Everfrost there. But overall, he should be able to get out perfectly fine. But that's a very nice combo there. Warrior Tofu still fishing for it. Does have the shock blast and a rocket coming down from downtown. And that is going to be Slippery Jalapeno claiming his first kill of the game here. But they're gonna jump straight on top of him and immediately get a nice return kill in return. Swag is coming through. Gonna get the sun off and power shock blast. Holy cow, that's a lot of damage. He's gonna flash down forward. Gonna get the slow down. Brain Dead Donkey does not have the ultimate anymore, but there goes the Ornn Horn. Swag gonna get knocked up. Warrior Tofu gonna try to claim the kill onto Chris 10 also, but Ragnar is walking up a little too close to the sun. Swag is able to walk on out there, does get the heal, does get the shield, and Woody is not able to do anything for his team. It's gonna be a 3-for-1 trade in favor of PFG.
3-for-1. Oh, the game state, it feels so rough off the back of that team fight. There's a pretty good chance that the Goblins are going to be able to take this dragon. Will they overstay for it? I wouldn't even call it that at this point right now. There's a small window where maybe Dive can find a pick or two, but I feel like this dragon's going to go down as it does right there. 1-for-1 on the dragon score line at this point. And yeah, that's a 3-for-1 coming in for the Goblins. Looking like they're being able to really start snowballing this jungle, this top lead that they were able to get from that early game. And things are starting to look pretty damn good if they weren't already.
Yeah, it's like that. The thing is about when you break tier ones, any outers that basically just opens the map wide open for like whatever lane that tower was broken in because they have nothing better to do except just kind of roam around mid lane. It's gonna be a good root and power shock blast. Dive should no, he's not. He does have the ult up again, so able to dash on out there. Slippery Jalapeno, gonna be a threat of a dive here. He's gonna get a lot of damage down, piercing light going through, be able to flash out. So able to get out with his life. Warrior Tofu is still here for that gank. As Dive gonna get chunked out. That's a good prediction there with the claw. And that is going to be a kill going over to the Swain once again. Already, we're at about a 4K gold lead pre 14 minutes. We're not even in the mid game.
Ooh, Afro's living rent-free right now in Dive's mind. There's no doubt. That was a really clean claw coming in. Look at the damage here from Tofu, too. Woody, it feels so bad. The slow?
Oh, does it get the slow? Yeah, that's probably a kill right
no.
there. Yep. That's very, very unfortunate. 0, 5, and 0. He's actually up ahead in CS somehow, surprisingly. But when you're looking at the gold lead individually, it's about what is that, like 30? That's 3,500 gold in favor of the Jace right now. So it is rough in these streets right now for the Ornn.
If that doesn't put it into perspective, I don't know what will. And the Jace hasn't really even hit that major power spike that champion is so often drafted for. But with this tier 2 going down, that extra 600 gold, there's no doubt that he's going to be that much closer. And he's actually sitting on close to 3k in his inventory. So if you thought the man was strong before, just give him a couple minutes here.
Yeah, should be able to get the man immune like on straight up on back. Swain just got the rod. So, that's gonna be the Cyclone going through. Charm also layering the CC like an onion as Dive is gonna go in, gonna claim that kill. Dubstep Ignite, and that's going to be a big shutdown going over. A little bit of a awkward reset place there for Warrior Tofu. And Slippery Jalapeno is bot side by himself right now, but otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty good reconciliation kill there. It's only gonna lower the gold lead by about 500, about 1,000 there. So yeah, Shirelda's Grudge already built by Warrior Tofu. So if Woody wasn't squishy before, he's pretty darn squishy now. Afro is just landing these claws, man. He is throwing them out. But Brain Dead Donkey gonna claim the second Rift Herald of the game here at 15 minutes. But right now, it's not over yet. I mean, the licorice, licorice. I have a
LYC.
list. LYC, they actually do have a scaling advantage due to their to the orange. Orange, just the items are just so strong, and then with the Wukong also, especially if you get those flanks off. But it's very interesting to see how it goes because right now the bot side is pretty much hasn't really done much. They've just been pretty much power farming the entire game. They're pretty much dead even. Well, actually, they're not. It's 500 gold in favor of 600 gold in favor of Crisp 10, but in 1,000 in favor of Ragnar. But it looks like now they're gonna be starting to go towards that bot side. Drake's gonna be spawning in about a minute. It's gonna be Cloud Soul this game, so nothing too crazy. Chris gonna get stunned up, knocked back a little bit, but there goes the ultimate by Afro Zonai. Cyclone going through, flashing on out there. 2 flashes already used by the side of LYC, so it forces them out under their own tower as the Drake is just about to spawn. So they're still fishing for it. They're still looking for it. As Braindead Donkey is gonna get caught out here, gonna get pulled back, able to clone on out there. But Swag is going through. He does have the ultimate. Slows are coming out already, but he's getting chunked out a ton. Dive is already in the backside, diving into there. But it's going to be a disengage from the side of LFG. Warrior Tofu is finally here. You have your hero. But they're gonna get the stuff straight on top. There goes the Oran Horde onto 4. As Dive, he's gonna get taken down by Swag. The slows are way too much. Woody is all by his lonesome. He will get taken down for a 6th time this game as Volibear will claim his 5th kill already. 5-0-4 as the Cloud Drake will be taken.
LYC. I mean, at that point, it's so difficult to be able to contest for this dragon. I understand that you want to fight for it, but the game state, it feels so bad. You don't have much of a win con to play to, besides maybe dive in the mid lane. I think there was a couple windows earlier on where maybe you could have looked to put some more mid focus, but especially that bot side, just nothing was happening. And while nothing's happening bot, the world's beginning to burn up mid and top, and right now, PF Goblins firmly ahead, and LYC, they definitely just wanted to give that up. They didn't want to be able to play for that. The Lucian was out of mana, Crits had no HP, Woody was just not in the right position with his team at that point in time. The Ornhorn comes through, but there's no damage, nobody's around, and yeah, they get cleaned up, but here we go. We get to see a little bit of a breath of life here coming in from LYC. That Rift Herald is going to go down mid. Chances are it's going to knock down this bounty too. There we go.
And they're gonna grab that one. Afro is gonna claim a couple more stacks, but they're not gonna try to fish for that second charge after the resets. So overall, it's gonna be objective bounty. You know, they get 1 tower, so it cuts down the gold lead to about 5K. It's not the end of the world. You still have the Orn. You still got pretty strong team fight overall, and you're not really gonna be able to catch the solution. That's a very good charm there in that bot side. Warrior Tofu getting chunked to about half HP there, but Swag is here. Woody is hiding in the bush. We're gonna see how this goes as the Empower Shock Blast does come through. Knock up onto Swag. He's gonna have to be a little careful. Don't want to walk up too close. Gonna interrupt the queue.
Oh, wow.
He's getting chunked out a ton. Let's see. The charm comes through the shield also, but there goes Warrior Tofu. He's coming in. Dive is gonna go in with the ult with the charm. Cyclone not quite going to land. Flash out by Warrior Tofu. So overall, it's going to be pretty good trades here. Breath of the Life Dive just getting out on a sliver of HP, single digits. And it is going to be very, very close trades here from both these teams in that bot side as they're trying to bust down that tier 1 and claim some more objective bounties.
Yeah, close but no cigar. Nobody going down. This bounty will be held off too. And while all this is happening, Afro is pushing in this topside wave here. Somebody will have to respond. Chances are it's going to be Dive, but that's a 4v5 happening from PFG. And I feel like while you're super ahead right now as the Goblins, I feel like you don't always want to be taking these fights just for absolutely nothing. You really want to play around these objectives. I think that's the main focus here right now for your team comp. You guys are so strong. I feel like there's no need to give up any objective bounties if possible, but especially those shutdowns. We already had one go down on Tofu, and by no means is it the end of the world. But if you end up dying, especially around this 20-minute mark here, if 1 or 2 of the wrong people get caught off, that could be a Baron going for LYC, and that could totally change the pace of this game.
Yeah, it's like even though Woody is 0-6-0 and has a bit of a thrift shop in his inventory, Orn is still Orn. Orn is very, very strong still. With the scaling and the passives and whatnot. Level 12, you're about one level away from getting your first upgraded item, level 13, if I remember. But right now, a little bit of vision getting set up around this Baron here. We're already at about 23 minutes. Little poke damage onto Ragnar, but Goblins are
Yeah.
going to claim that Scuttle Crab. But I mean, as I was saying, like they still have to be really careful. The gold lead does not indicate much that it's over because you still have the scaling of the Lucian, the Ari. Brain Dead
Oh,
Donkey
no.
gonna have to be careful. Oh, gonna have to flash over the
Yeah.
wall. Doesn't quite use the clone to get over the wall there, but that's a very very crucial flash down.
Yeah.
Wukong doesn't have a lot of gold in the inventory, but otherwise, I mean, it's just full priority there with the gold lead, but it's still not over. It is still 100% anybody's game right now.
Yeah, the Goblins do actually end up giving up mid-wave priority here, and as a response, Jalapeno will have to path towards the tier 2 mid lane, pick up those minions when he can. And right now, that you can actually see that it gives LYC a chance here to walk in and actually set up this vision. So maybe a little bit of a misplay there. Whenever you're contesting these neutral objectives, the main priority should be that mid wave. If you could send 3-4 members to get priority on it first, that's where you can really start to set up this vision. But of course, we still have this option here for the Goblins to look for a pick.
Oh, the speed's
Yeah.
coming through. Crit's gonna get hit with all the slows flashing out, but Swag gonna be coming through. Gonna interrupt the queue, but the Cyclone's coming through. There goes Chris 10 on the flank, but gonna have to be really careful. Gonna have to try to kite out. Gonna get stunned up, using the cleanse. There goes Dive. He's gonna try to get Slippery Jalapeno, but gonna get stunned up and taken down here. Dive is unsuccessful in trying to assassinate any key targets, and that's the Baron being started up. Brain Dead Donkey does not have flash, does have smite. No vision in the pit, no wards. He's going to be blind smiting for this right now. 4K, less than 4K, less than 3K, 1K, and nothing gonna happen for that steal there, as they're not going to spot him out. And that is going to be Woody. He's going to get slowed up here. Going to have to be careful. The speed ups are coming through. More slows coming down. He's going to get stunned up, knocked up. The Bellows Breath not going to be enough. Swag claiming his 6th kill of the game here at 6K gold lead with the Baron.
Yeah, it's one thing after another right now for LYC in this game. We could actually see the Wukong getting picked here. He does not have flash.
There's a Wukong going to get stun, flash, and that is going to be a dead monkey in the jungle as he will get taken down already. Swag claiming 7th kill of the game here as the gold lead goes up to about 7.5K. They're going to claim the 4th Drake of the game and go with the soul point here.
Yep. And now at this point here, you definitely want your Janet to be able to reset. Ragnar, it's pretty important that he does so he can get those wards out. Of course, you want the replenish on that. A couple pinks would be nice as well, but we're going to see the reset here coming in from the Goblins, and I expect them to be looking to do something probably along the lines of a 4-1. Maybe they're going to have that J split, but definitely they want to be putting a lot of pressure here with this Baron that they have. They still have it for a while, so if they're able to put some pressure on these side lanes, that mid lane especially, getting that tier 2 really opens up the map for your team, allows you some deeper vision in that mid lane too. So the Goblins are going to want to look to get something set up here. At this point in time though, right now, they aren't using the Baron to their best advantage. We will see the mid wave getting pushed in, but bot and top, nothing happening from there. This should be easily handled right now from LYC.
Yeah, LYC right now, Baron power play isn't. It's only about like 1,000 something gold. Brain Dead Donkey's on a bit of a flank, but they did spot him out on that Raptor Pit ward, so not able to get that that flank off successfully. But really, they keep trying to force things when they really don't. But it's yeah, it's just really, really desperate times here for LYC right now, as the mid lane's gonna get sieged up. Baron's still up for about another minute here, as they'll finally get their first tower here with the Baron, as they'll take down that mid lane tier 2 dive. You're gonna have to be careful here. Forced to use the ultimate over the wall there. Gonna go in. There goes a Cyclone onto 3. Ornhorn onto 2. Big damage as they will take out the Jinx first. There goes 2 kills already, over 1-1 for both these teams, as Swag is going to try to dive into that backline. Dive going to get taken down by the Jace. Double kill going over. Big shutdown going over to the Lucian, but triple kill going over by Warrior Tofu.
Yo.
He's going to get a really big shield. Quadra kill. Is that the pentakill? Pentakill here for Warrior Tofu. 11, 1, and 9 at 24 and 45 seconds into the game here.
Looks like pentakill into game 1 end. That's a pretty dang good way to start this series if you're Warrior Tofu and Swag. The amount of priority they put on that top side was insane. Looks like I think they can.
I don't think they are going to end.
Maybe they can.
Wukong,
Oh.
they're pretty low. Health bars are really
You're
low,
right.
so they're going to have to back off. So
You're
it's a
right.
10K gold, 9.5. It's a 9.5K gold lead in favor of PF Goblins. So they're gonna back off. No objectives for about 2.5 minutes here. But
Yeah,
that was a pretty that T fight was a lot closer than Comfort would be, you know. Uh, but I mean they absolutely destroyed Jinx. I mean that was a lot of wombo combo there.
yeah. At the end, you still see the wallet diff coming out, but had this game have been in a closer state, there's no doubt 100% that the Goblins get wiped on that. That's like textbook perfect engage, the best thing that you could hope for LYC. Looks like an commitment from Swag trying to get that stun. He falls back. They all funnel into the small choke within mid lane right around that tier 2 turret, the base of it, and then that Ornhorn comes in, the Wukong Cyclone, and it's so close to being great, but you just don't have the gold yet. You don't have the items that you needed at that point in time, and I think Dive, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, dive. Going a little too deep there, bro. You're gonna use the charm there. Gonna only delay the inevitables. Warrior Tofu claims his 12th kill of the game here already. It's still only gonna be about a 9.5K gold lead. Gonna get cut down to about 8.5, as they will claim that bot lane tier 1. Teleport flank coming through here in that mid lane, as Chris is gonna get jumped on. He will get absolutely annihilated. Flashing out there. Chris 10 trying to do as much damage as he can, but he will not do enough, as Warrior Tofu is gonna grab that one. Woody is just in the absolute meat grinder there as crits. He'll get slowed up and taken down. That's going to be 4 kills going over to the side of PF Goblins, and they will end this game here at about 27 minutes.
That's really well played by them. I mean, they get the comfort, they get the picks that they want for this game one, and I think they do a great job when it comes to the execution. Again, what we see time after time again, it's really off the back of Swag. He recognizes the advantage that he can get for Warrior Tofu. I didn't expect, personally, a lot of attention being put towards that top side, but if one gank works, the flashes burn from that Ornn. If you're able to repeat, then get 2, and then get 3 kills, you're able to snowball not only yourself, because really the Volley Bear is acting as a bridge to get another carry ahead, but you get this Jace as ahead is what you do, and before you know it, Warrior Tofu starts to take over the game. He gets a pentakill, almost ends the game right there, but exposes the Nexus, and then basically at the end of the day, LYC, they delay the inevitable, but it's going to happen, and they take them down in 27 minutes for this game one, and it just feels really decisive and really clean, and you wonder what LYC is going to do here now, because of course they have that side select. We'll see, maybe they stay on blue side, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them on red.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the previous draft, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the draft. Everything was perfectly fine. I mean, the Melio priority pick wasn't that bad. Uh, Actually, they did have the Ornn counterpicked into Jace, so they opted for that matchup.
Yeah,
So I
the one thing I'll say
guess
about the draft, the one thing that I'll say about the draft that kind of sticks out for me with LYC, when you have that blue, you have that priority pick. I feel like if you're going to go for the Melio, you can actually just first pick the Jinx, and then you actually grab that, then you keep that pairing along. It's not like the Lucian is bad by any means, but the Jinx really tended to be a bit of a high priority here, especially if you want to draft something like the Ornn and Wukong, which gives you that front line. So I feel like if you grab the Jinx, the chances that you could still grab the Melio is going to be there on the B2, B3, and if they take the Melio on R1 or R2, as crits, I know that he plays Nautilus a ton. Just pick Nautilus, and then you have your answer. That's also his comfort pick too. So I think they might have put a little bit too much priority on the Melio. I think it's a great pick by all means, but I feel like if you're going to draft it, you got to kind of have that ADC put in place to make sure that you have it. Because I feel like if LYC has a Jinx, that game goes very differently.
yeah, but very little known fact, Melio also counters Nautilus. It's very, very rough timing, but it is a counter. But
We're back.
yeah, this game is a absolute domination here, you know, from start to finish for the side of PF Goblins. But as we kind of as we wait for game 2 to start getting ready to load in, we're going to be taking a quick little break, and we'll be right back with y'all.
See you soon.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread,
Welcome back, everybody, as we get into game 2 draft. As it looks like PF Goblins will wait. Lycoris will opt to take red side this game. And already we're going to see roughly the same bands, but we're going to see the Volley Bear as a pretty much an immediate count or respect ban. English is hard, but otherwise, PF Goblins are pretty much keeping the same bands from last game. So Wukong is being hovered here for that first pick here for swag, probably.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely see that coming in there. And Swag, of course, he did have the option for the Heck Room, but when it comes to first pick, if you don't want to grab that ADC, the Wukong is a great staple. Another option that you do have could be something like that Maokai, but we will see the Wu. I think it's great. By all means, you actually end up denying it as well. That is actually a flex pick on the side of LYC. So instead, what we're going to see from the R1 here is we're going to get that Jinx. The Jinx to me sticks out a ton. I mean, did great for the game 1 there, and for game 2, I expect the same. So far so good here, but everything seems pretty stock standard, and we're actually going to get the tried and true counter into the Wukong, which is going to be that Vi 2.
Okay, so Vi Jinx. Crits has a lot of options for the support pick, but right now PFG, they have options for their jungler and probably their support. Wukong still is a open-ended flex, but probably going to go into that jungle into the hands of Swag. But for now, I mean, last game it was just really kind of just going back to last game. It's mostly just kind of just stop forcing things that you really don't need to force, because being like LYC with their composition, it was just kind of a time bomb. It was just when you scale those side for your teammates.
Yeah,
so
and
just
I
kinda
also
stop forcing.
I also feel like they put a little bit too much priority on that top lane. We mentioned it too during the game itself. When you could have been focusing on mid lane, you had that solo kill early on that you could have played around. You could have been focusing on towards bot side as well. But it looks like what we're actually going to see on that B2, B3 is going to be the Melio Ash and the spicy R3. It's going to be the Blitzcrank for the Lycoris. I love it.
When I first started playing League of Legends, I used to like one trick crank for like a year. It was great times. Like
The
when you're in
God
the
Hand.
yeah, dude, I was called the God Hand for a bit, but now I just play Thresh instead. So, but overall, I mean, we're gonna see the Jace respect ban here from the side of Lycoris. You know, they're definitely getting a lot of PTSD from a lot of those picks from last game, but Melio Ash is a very interesting bot lane to go against a Jinx Blitzcrank. That is a very interesting matchup, but yeah, that Blitzcrank is going to have a field day right now so far with his hook targets.
Yeah, it depends on depends how the bot lane of the Goblins is able to play. Obviously, they do have the priority being the 2 range, and of course, Melee does actually have quite a bit of wave clear with that Q2. So there's no doubt that they can push this wave. They can control how this lane ends up playing out. But yeah, in the wrong circumstance, or if maybe the Vi ends up pathing down, like the Blitzcrank could find one hook, and if one hook or one flash gets burned, it looks like repeat ganks over and over and over. And yeah, the Ashe Melio, while it's really strong, it's going to give you that priority in the lane. It's very susceptible to ganks and, of course, hooks. So we'll see how Crits is feeling for game number 2.
Yeah, as you said, want to see more focus in that bot side, a little less into that top side, because last game Chris 10, I mean, he did pretty fine for a while. Be able to kind of just play on the edge of those team fights and pumping out like a ton of damage. But right now, lots of top lane focus bans, lots of mid lane focus bans for these or for PFG, and then top lane bans for Lycoris. So right now, I mean, it's just kind of a push and pull for both these teams when it comes to the draft right now. But they definitely do have somewhat of a good identity. Lycoris kind of look more for that pick potential, and then PFG looking more for, again, just that full team fight.
Yeah, and Goblins, I really like that last band that they pull out, which is the Ari. That 2v2 with the Vi Ari is really strong for Lycoris, so I like that response. And here's what we're going to get instead. We're going to get a Vi Galio. So that looks so far like a pseudo dive team to me. And that's not really too pseudo. That's pretty dive, but it'll be interesting to see how they play around that with the Blitzcrank hook too. Maybe a little bit of like anti-synergy in my mind that I can see, but yeah, there's no doubt we're diving in on that Ashe. We're going on that Melio. We're looking to commit, and it looks like we might get Old Faithful here too, which might be a Swain pick. And when you're diving, that could be a little bit of an oversight here from Lycoris, to be honest. I feel like the Swain It was drafted in game 1, you know that it's going to be there. You pick another dive comp here so far, and then yeah, the response once again is going to be that Swain. And yeah, Zonite ended up going down early on. It didn't really matter though. The one solo kill meant absolutely nothing. The man popped off afterwards, and he looked great on the pick. So yeah, that B4 coming in really clutch, and we're going to see what they decide to do here, the Goblins, with their final pick.
It's gonna be okay.
Is it
Shen, I like it.
Okay.
So right now,
Okay.
PFG, they have a really, really good front to back composition. You are not diving into this team. It is so hard to, because if you're diving in, you got shields from Melio, you got shields from Shen, you got the slows from Ashe, and you got the slows from Swain once he gets to Rylai's. So like, it is really hard to fight into this PFG composition. You really just have to look for just straight up picks with the Blitzcrank, because Blitzcrank really, now looking back at it, does not have a lot of great hook targets. You don't want to pull Swain because he's gonna get really tanky later on. Shen gets tanky, Wukong gets pretty tanky, and then also has that Cyclone setup. So it's
Yeah.
really like, I know Lycoris.
I'm glad you mentioned it though. The Blitzcrank, I feel like it's a fine pick, but like it's kind of like a vacuum counter to the Ashe, the Melio. I feel like you can hold your support pick right there, and then you can actually grab the Blitzcrank later on if that's something that you want anyways. I don't feel like that's too much of a priority. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like Chorus actually play the Ari, so I feel like the R3 they should have grabbed that Ari, had that mid jungle advantage that they could have played around with that 2v2, and then things might have been able to change up quite a bit. But instead we're going to see this interesting draft coming in from them. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just feel like all of their champions don't quite fit on the same page together. You're going to have two of the members diving in, which is going to be that Vi and that Galio. You're going to get some follow-up damage with, of course, the Jinx, who's going to be able to auto-attack and then follow up with that ultimate. But those are really the only two members who are diving into on the other side with the Goblins, which is going to be a Swain, a Melio, an Ashe, a Wukong, and a Shen. I don't know. I don't know how you answer it. As Lycoris, I feel like you need to get those numbers advantages so you can look to make some plays, because I feel like if both teams are grouped up at an even state, nobody has a major gold advantage. PF Goblins can play front to back, as you mentioned, yeah, and just clean up fights.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lycoris right now, I'll say their comp is looking a little suspect. They don't really have anything cohesive. I mean, you got Vi, Galio, but after that, that's pretty much it. Then you have Mordekaiser that can, I guess, can stave away the Wukong when he goes in, or the Swain, and then you got the Galio just it's really weird composition. Like as you said, Blitzcrank is pretty much just like a pocket counter to the Ashe Melio, but that's pretty much it. Those are pretty much your only freeload hook targets.
And actually kind of the same with that Mordekaiser too, because the Mordekaiser is like a counter matchup to that Shen, but I don't really think that the Mordekaiser fits the team that much either. So yeah, I think it's like two vacuum counters that you end up getting on Lycoris, which aren't bad in lane, but like outside of lane, when you try to like pair your champions up together, that's where you can really see some issues. But who knows, man? Maybe like Crits is feeling like a god. He's gonna be the god hand. Maybe he can carry this, because hooks, I feel like they need to land, and they need to land on key members for Lycoris to really have a good chance of being able to take this game over.
Yeah, that's like the thing about that I don't like about playing Blitzcrank a lot, especially in like when you start getting up into that higher elo bracket. They'll start playing more champions that aren't like super squishy. They'll start playing things that are a little more synergistic with compositions. So like you're gonna get like these meat bags that can kind of tank those hooks and just play off of it, play for free engage with the hook. So it's really like, yeah, Lycoris, their team composition isn't the greatest, but they might like, because the way they played the draft is they played it very reactionary. They played it as in a reaction to anything else. Like they picked the R3 pick into the Melio Ashe. They picked the Mordekaiser into the L5 Shen. So it's really like it's like Lycoris, they probably got something cooking somewhere in the back there, but we have to see how it plays out. But right now, based on looking at it on paper, Lycoris, their composition is not really form fitted for a team fight.
Yeah, and I think you really nailed it on the head there when you said that they're really drafted reactionary. And on red side, is traditionally not something that you always see. Of course, with blue, you do have that first pick, but red side garners you those two counter picks, right? So you have those options to be able to play around that. And usually that can set the tempo, especially for phase 2, right? So when phase 2 comes in, then of course you're going to have that final counter pick. That R5 pick is always so clutch. And I believe the Goblins ended up R5ing. I'm going to double check just so I'm not too wrong, but I think they ended up picking the Swain up. And
they
yes, they did. In R5. They B4 the Jace and then or no, they
Oh, last
R4
game.
is the case. Last game, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I was simply trying to just compare the two R5s and just kind of notice the difference. Like the Swain for game one, that R5 pick seems to me to really fit that team comp, while this R5 pick here from LYC is, I don't think, bad by any means, but yeah, in terms of the team comp, it's not quite there. But individually in that lane, you really want to be able to get ahead, because if you're not getting ahead, things can look really dire. So individually, I think the solos really need to step up. I think really everybody needs to step up on the side of LYC to kind of clutch this one out, because yeah, PFG, I mean, you got game one advantage, right? You're really happy with that. And now game two, things are looking really good just based off draft alone.
Yeah, right now it is looking to be, it is match point right now for the side of PF Goblins. We're gonna see who takes the cake here, or if Lycoris can keep their hopes alive here. As we're gonna be taking a quick little break as we wait for the spectator to go down. We'll be right back.
See you soon.
Trying to start a riot. Who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start it?
Who that flying in the air? Fool, that ain't no flying saucer. I'm shooting webs like worldwide. Manhattan all the way to Yonkers. When they say Brooklyn, stand up. You better just fix your posture. And every hero needs this theme song. So
Who in here trying to
you ain't got a chance, boy. What you think? I'm doing everything but the kitchen sink. I try to be feeling in the neighborhood. I know all the little grannies wanna sip their tea. And here you come, all barging in. All ugly like a brown fur cardigan. We can skip that monologue and arguing. I'm like,
Who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start a riot? Let's rock and roll. So high up, I can see the flow. There he go. It's a play. It's a UFO. From the phone. Let me know if you brought that action. It don't matter. Just let me know. No, my way. I'm coming through with my crew to make a play. I don't need no super suit. I'm feeling brave. Don't be a hero. Turn around and walk away. Wait. Who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start it? Who in here trying to start it?
Every day is like a sticky situation when evil's looking for a chance. And I know we are the newest generation. We got the power in our hands. We're slinging through the trenches.
I'm coming through with my crew to make a play. I don't need no super suit. I'm feeling
when they say Brooklyn, stand up. You better just fix your posture. And every hero needs this theme song. So
who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start a riot? Who in here trying to start it?
Bang.
Who in here trying to start it? Who in here trying to start it?
welcome back, everybody, as we get into week 6, game 2 between Lycoris and PF Goblins. Alrighty, we're gonna see some shenanigans here from the side of PF Goblins. They're kind of expecting that crank invade, but they're not gonna really fall for that bait here. Lycoris are not gonna be looking for that bait. So right now, it is going to be um right now
Oh, we
just
might
very
actually
bait
see the hook
stuff
here.
here. Oh,
We might see the hook
let's
from
see who he
Crits.
goes
Oh,
for. Oh no, he's going
looks
for
like
the
he's
other
gonna go
bush.
the try. He's going for the try
Oh,
bush. Wait, is he?
okay. But oh, he's
Okay,
not.
okay,
A
okay,
lot of
okay. He's
people, I'm surprised they don't do that bush. But
that's
honestly,
that's
I'd probably hide in that bush and look for that fight. But
that's
right
quite a
now,
blitzcrank skin he has too. Actually, I quite like that.
right now,
I think that,
yeah, it is a nice skin though. I'm more of a, I like Lancer Paragon. That's my favorite skin.
yeah. Hey, look at how sharp
And
it is, eh?
yeah, it was like, what was it? It was a Boom Boom Blitzcrank. That's like the best skin overall because like the hook hitbox is huge. It's massive. That's what you gotta love about it. There's
Pay to win.
no
Pay
way.
to win.
Yeah, they're not gonna look for the hook. They're not gonna hit this hook.
I
So
mean,
it's gonna
they
be
have
right
it
on the
warded.
head. Yeah, they
They
do,
have
but
it.
they're not gonna. No way. No, he's walking the bush.
Oh, nice
No,
hug.
hits the hook. Slippery jalapeno flashing over the wall. Okay, honestly, I don't know why they went in the bush. I would have just went straight to the lane.
Yeah, I'm
But
not so sure either. But hey, at the end of the day, they'll net that. And
hey,
that's
you
a
know what?
cheeky little
Flash is
ward in that
flash.
try bush.
Easy money, dude. Easy money.
Exactly. Exactly. We'll get the flash for free there. We'll take it. And then, yeah, I mean, right now we already see Vi. He's looking to start that top side. Looks like he's going to be doing a full clear. Surprised he's not looking for more something like a 3 camp odd, especially with that flash being burned from the Ash. You actually have a window off that third wave crash to look for something like a dive if you want to be able to play for it. But looks like instead we might see that full clear there. And that's pretty stock standard. We're going to see actually the same coming in from Swag. But I think the key difference there is Swag has been spotted. They're definitely aware of where that Wukong is. And a bit of trading here, top.
Yeah,
Just saying hi.
or Tofu grabbing that tier 2 or that level 2 first. But right now, yeah, that third wave, as you said, is going to bounce back pretty hard. Oh, that's a really good hook in between the minions. Not gonna claim a kill, but gonna get to 2/3 HP already. Looking for that mid lane gank actually. Dive does not have the Justice Punch. Gonna go in, gonna get closer with the taunt. Not quite gonna land it. Afrozana gonna flash away. So that's 2 big flashes down already on the ADC and the support of PFG. So that's free real estate for Brain Dead Donkey to look for those ganks right now. As he's actually did top clear and going top side actually. Woody does not have the hook. Warrior Tofu does have the taunt out, so using it a little early, but getting the shield, getting the refuge, able to get out perfectly fine. Big wave, so this might be a bit of a freeze here for Woody.
Maybe right away we're
But
actually seeing Swag pathing towards that bot side. He's starting to clear this blue right now. We're gonna have crits. He's gonna be pathing as well. So they're looking for this monkey, and I think they're gonna end up finding him. We'll see what happens here, but there's no flash on the Swain. Crisp.
dive as Crisp is coming through. Swag is actually
No.
low. He's gonna get level 3. First blood in that bot side. So that's going to be Crisp getting taken down here. Swag gonna have to be really careful. Might have to go over the wall. Gonna land the hook. That's going to be a kill going over onto the monkey. Dive gonna claim that one. Gonna get double buffs in that mid lane. So it's gonna be a 1-for-1 kill here. But first blood going over to Ash first.
Yeah, we're gonna see a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but it feels like a couple split calls for both teams there. You have Crisp 10. He's still kind of hanging around that wave down bot side while Crits is pathing into the jungle to spot Swag. Finds a monkey, and as a result, you see the Ash, the Melio, just full commit onto Crisp, and here we go, even
Looking
more.
for that Gankaroni in that mid lane. Gonna get a little bit of heal with the eye, but Dive gonna claim his second kill of the game already. So this game is going a little bit better, but it's only gonna even out the gold lead already. But right now, I mean, as you were saying, oh, that's gonna be a good route the bot side. Slippery jalapeno, not good. Knockback by Ragnar. Not quite going to land the hook. He's still fishing for it, and that's a good sidestep by Ragnar. So able to walk on out there. Slippery jalapeno actually popped the ghost also.
Dive. You gotta be a little careful.
Anticipation for Brain Dead, but
Oh
yeah.
no.
Oh, mid lane. That's going to be a kill going over. Dive going to get taken down. Swag going to claim a nice shutdown there. So a little bit of overextension by Dive there.
Yeah, just a free kill for Swag. He'll net that up, and he'll be really happy. That'll get that Wukong going. Once that Divine Sunder is completed, that 1-item power spike for that champion, he really starts to come online, so that's going to accelerate him that much more. And Woody and Warrior Tofu beginning the trade, but that's a big wave that's starting to build up for that Mordekaiser. But crucially, we see Swag again. He's towards that top side. One ping did go down, so they might be aware of where that Wukong is, but you might see him path towards top after this camp. We'll have to see, but So far, so good right now. Yeah, if you're the side of Lycoris, you're pretty happy with the state of this game. Your Galio's 2-1-0. The Vi's been a part of both kills, so your mid jungle synergy is starting to click. The hooks are landing as well. Flashes are being burned, so we'll have to see exactly how this ends up playing out. You and I both talked about it. We didn't think that their team comp was the most coherent in terms of synergies, but at the end of the day, if you can outclass and outhands the enemy team, then who needs draft?
Yeah, as we learned from first game, your wallet will outweigh anything that could ever happen in the game. Woody just hit level 6, so not really gonna have to be too fearful of the ganks anymore in that top side. Just gonna crash a very chunky wave. Actually, not looking for the reset yet. Actually, teleported back to lane not too long ago. So just kind of keep poking Warrior Tofu, trying to get him to miss as much CS as possible. Warrior Tofu does still have the teleport, hit level 6 already. So gonna look for that. But otherwise, I mean, it's nothing too crazy over here. It's a slight gold lead, about 500 gold in favor of the what is it, PFG? Yeah. So
Yeah, they are.
and they're looking for that gank
Oh.
in the bot side there, as that's gonna be a good hook onto Slippery Jalapeno. You're gonna push back Chris 10, gonna get rooted up. Are they gonna be able to claim this kill? Braindead Donkey is here, does have the flash, but there goes the Shen, there goes the ultimate. As flash forward there by Braindead Donkey, Clint's coming out, he's gonna get slowed up. Chris 10 will get taken down by Warrior Tofu, and that's gonna be a very good stand united there to save his ADC. And so finally, that's going to be it. No, are they trying to interrupt it? No, that's a good knockback, Ragnar. You are so clutch with it. And now that's going to be another kill getting claimed over as the hero's entrance comes through. Chris does not have any more mana for the hook. And just so many good plays here by the side of PF Goblins.
Yeah, there's no doubt while all this is happening too, Swag has quietly been able to get nearly double CS advantage here. So absolutely outpacing Braindead Donkey at this point right now. The Vi, only level 4, goes for the Hail Mary play, attempts to stop that TP even after the play goes as bad as what it does, sacrifices his life for it. He's down in tempo. He'll finally be able to head towards this top side, start clearing a camp, but Swag's just around the corner, and guess what? He's got 6 now.
Yeah, Woody is gonna go to ward it. Does have the ultimate, so doesn't have to be too scared of it. But right now, no scanner, not gonna be able to clear out the ward. So they're gonna keep seeing that monkey. He is topside. Both junglers are topside. They're roaming mid actually. Afrozona does have flash, so you're really gonna have to be careful. You don't have a lot of follow-up damage with that Galio. As a nice trying to dodge that, but Justice Punch not quite gonna be enough. As Wukong gonna be starting up this first Herald of the game here, and first Drake gonna be started up on the other side by the side of Lycoris. But yeah, like really far behind, 20 CS down by the Vi. You're about like 3-4 camps away from level 6, so should be fine. First Drake of the game is Ocean Drake, so it's pretty good pickup to kind of quell the early game woes there. But 2K gold lead in favor of PFG. First Herald is claimed, so curious to see where that's going to get dropped.
Yeah, only time will tell with that one, but if I'm a bet man, I may be looking towards the spot side. You already have Slippery Jalapeno starting to pop off in this Ash. 100% a really good scaling win con, especially with that Melio to be able to buff the champion up, so there's no doubt that could be a great spot to drop it, but instead we're seeing Swag path towards his top side. He does have his ultimate.
Yeah, there's the root claw, not quite gonna land. Warrior Tofu is gonna get chunked to just a little above half HP. That's a level 8 Mordekaiser. Flash on out there. Cyclone's still gonna keep getting in range. That's a lot of damage actually for both sides coming out. But you really don't want to be looking for that. As Slippery Jalapeno able to walk out of the traps. But right now, so far, this Blitzcrank isn't paying too many dividends right now. The Jinx is 2-0, hasn't gotten any kills. So it's really rough for Crisp 10. But
Yeah,
right
it
now,
is. You don't have much you don't have much damage right now on the side of Lycoris too. That's the thing I think we both highlighted during the draft itself. I mean, the Swain pick really coming out clutch once again. It's gonna be a B4 this time, but yeah, that pick it just feels so strong into the champions that have been drafted on the side of Lycoris, and I definitely think there's still plenty of angles to be able to find something. But you're down 2K right now. The enemy comp definitely outscales as far as I'm concerned. I could see it right now. The ultimate's available, the Shen to be able to peel, the Ashe, obviously the Melio to be able to do the same thing. I like what I'm seeing here though right now. You need to get the ball rolling if you're Lycoris. We have Brain Dead Donkey hovering just outside with the Galio ult available, so expect something to happen here.
Chris has flash. He's looking for it. He's gonna go forward. There's gonna be a knockup. Gonna flash under the tower. Hero's entrance not quite gonna get him under the tower. Hook not quite gonna land either. Brain Dead Donkey slowing him up under the tower. One more hit will take him down. But there goes the taunt. Gonna get Slippery Jalapeno. But Slippery Jalapeno is forced to use both subs. Afrozana gonna pop this ghost here. He's gonna go in. Is the hook gonna land? Not quite. But Dive should be able to walk on out here. Does have flash if he needs to, as he's gonna get the knockups. Swag gonna have to be careful. Gonna get low. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to get the kill. Stand United coming in clutch, as there goes the burn, as Demon Flare gonna get used up, and Wukong is gonna claim that one, as the rest of the team coming through in the nick of time.
If you can't find that damage to get that kill, these extended fights, you're going to lose. The sustain coming in from the Melio, the sustain coming in from the Swain, it's impossible at this point in time. And right now, yeah, we see Swag. The hook is going to land.
Hook. You're not going to get
Cheeky,
that
but-
kill, but that's going to be
Nope.
the Herald popped into that bot side. But as we were talking about, there's no damage. Crispin does not do enough damage. You're going to go look for that dive. There goes the cleanse. You're going to get knocked up under the tower, but it's only going to get claimed by the crank with the ignite. As teleport's coming through, dive does not have the flash. Damage going through. There goes the kill with the vortex.
Oh,
Hook coming
no.
down, and that's going to be 3 kills going over in that bot side. Herald never being popped. So Herald's gonna expire in about a minute here, as they're looking for Afrozonite, but nothing is gonna come out of it once again, and it's just a back and forth kill game for both these teams here. Is Woody gonna get taunted under the tower, half HP, gonna claim 1 plate, but it is pretty much back and forth between both these teams. Right now, it's almost anybody's game.
Yeah, and at the end of that, we could see really quickly that PF Goblins begin to lose some tempo on the map. Right now, Brain Dead Donkey willing to start farming up some of those camps on that bot side. Does grab that red, sneaks off as well. I believe he stole the chicken, so a couple camps going in his favor. And yeah, at the end of the day, it looked pretty dicey from the initial engage, especially Slippery Jalapeno was able to flash under that turret. Everything being drawn out for as long as what it does. The end result being that PF Goblins do end up going for an overextension, taking a fight, giving away some kills when they don't need to. They could just play to drop the Herald, grab that turret, that's first brick. You grab that, you reset, maybe you send your bot lane mid now where they're super safe for the next while, but instead here's going to be the ramifications of that misplay from earlier on that we saw. Instead it's going to be a crash up top and not as good.
Crank does have the flash. Unfortunately, Super Mega Death Rocket gonna used to be scouting. Brain Dead Donkey doesn't quite land the Vault Breaker over the wall. So overall, I mean, it's just Slippery Jalapeno is able to get out a lot. So this Crank not quite panning out as much as you would like in that early game. Jinx's damage early game isn't super great, especially with thing is about Ashe. If you engage on Ashe and you do not kill her, she will kill you, because the slows are just super disgusting. Especially with Emilio constantly buffing her up, it's really hard to play against an Ashe if you do not immediately kill her. Kraken Slayer already made by Chris 10. Ashe gonna have to reset here. Now, doesn't have enough gold in the pocket yet, but surprising, Chris 10 actually is 300 gold ahead of, wait, yeah, 400 gold ahead of Slippery Jalapeno, but already has the Kraken Slayer. So Ashe really does need to reset here. It's really hard to look for this Drake fight, but
Yeah,
overall,
still
I mean,
need a
it's
little bit of gold too. So still need a little bit of gold from the side of Jalapeno. I don't think this is actually a pretty good window here for Lycoris to look for this. They actually have that item advantage, as you mentioned, and the hook is going to connect.
Wagon ain't hooked in. You really don't want to hook that Wukong, as there goes a slide clone. Gonna go cease and desist into the back line, but it's only gonna be Brain Dead Donkey. He will get taken down. 3 kills already going over, and it's already a team fight victory, and it's going to be an ace at 14 minutes for the side of PF Goblins. Oh wait, nope. Woody is into Death Realm, trying to claim the kill on Slippery Jalapeno. Gonna get taunted up, and he will get taken down finally, and it's going to be actually a clean ace for the side of PF Goblins.
And Woody pops up, 4 of his teammates are dead, he's left all alone, and he tries his hardest, but at the end of the day, yeah, those extended fights, when they end up happening, you can just see them going in the side of PF Goblins, and Lycoris, you gotta wonder what you can do. You tried your best, you landed a hook, it was on the Wukong though, the Shen ult's still available, you don't have the damage. Really, inherently in your comp at all, let alone the fact that you need to burst through a Shen shield as well. So it's looking dicey right now. Do you have windows if you're like Lycoris? For sure. You absolutely do. As a matter of fact, the Swain doesn't have all right now, has flash, but maybe you look for something mid. Crits is around here. This could be an angle.
But dives doesn't really have a lot of damage, so I don't. This is not gonna be. Oh, actually, they have a lot more damage than I thought. As a, I forget that's a full AP Galio. As a Chris
the
10,
Chieftain is
gonna have
coming
to be
in.
careful. Oh, he take the he takes the tower shot. He's dead. As that is going to be a solo kill over in the bot side there by Slipper Jalapeno. But yeah, this is getting really dicey. Like if you're watching that fight the whole time, like it was so disjointed. I mean, Brain Dead Donkey goes into the backside by himself. Dive doesn't really top the hero's entrance quite in time. Pops out a little too early. And the hook on the Wukong, like I said it before. If you hook Wukong, that's free real estate into the backside. Slipper Jalapeno is probably not going to die here. Actually, they're looking for it. And there goes the taunt. There goes the hook. And oh, that's a shutdown going over to the Blitzcrank. But
Feels
overall,
sad,
it's going to
man.
be a pretty good kill. Slipper Jalapeno used the flash there. So that's going to be overall pretty net victory, I would say. But back to the original point, like that fight was super disjointed. You cannot hook anybody except Ash and Melio, or you're pretty much just giving the enemy free real estate into the backside. But right now, Woody is looking for a lot of aggressive fighting, actually kind of losing it a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, it's still anybody's game. Chris 10 is 1-4-2. It's really rough. So they're really gonna have to try to peel from Arrow. Gonna come through in the bot side dive. Gonna get smited, slowed down. Justice punch out. So very nice job there to buffer the dash. But Crits is by himself here. Gonna have to be careful. After Zina does do a decent amount of damage. There goes the Vi going over the wall. Gonna knock up Ragnar a bit. But Slow's coming through. Demon Flare gonna get popped, but not go to amount to much.
No
So
heroes entrance available.
it's only 3K gold lead in favor of PFG, so it's nothing too crazy, but the gold spread for the side of Lycoris is not quite the greatest. It's on the Gallia and the Crank. Those are not the two people you really want the gold on. So right now it's just kind of just waiting. You try to get these crucial picks, and trying to scale up with the damage.
You need to find at this point, you need to find more than odd man advantages. If you find a one-person advantage, you need about a 3 or a 4-man advantage to be able to find any kills. So overloading side lanes could be an option for Lycoris. Maybe they could find windows to catch kills like that. Maybe you could set up Death Bush as well. Maybe there'll be a couple picks that you can get from that. But again, at this point, I think the best thing you can hope for are picks. I don't think you're going to be getting too many objectives, especially neutrals. The next dragon that's going to be up here in a minute and 20. And while it's a cloud,
He's by himself. He's going to get picked off. He will get killed here. Kill's going to go over to dive once again. Nothing going over to that Jinx for now. But
we needed that.
Swag coming up topside. Warrior Tofu does not land the hook. He will get pushed under the tower. Teleport coming through for dive. So Swag still looking for it. Hero's entrance coming through. There goes the Stand United also. But it is going to be Woody getting taken down first here. Dive going to get taken down also. So that's a double kill going over to the Wukong there.
The battle of globals. We see the Galio ult layered with the Shen ult, and all of a sudden the Wukong goes from maybe killable to absolutely no way in hell.
They get spotted out just barely on that ward there. Crit's almost getting that hook off. But yeah, it's,
almost. At this point, it just feels so. It feels so dicey. It feels so dicey. Like Crits, you want to be able to hook people, but who can you hook? The Ash and Melio, I suppose. Yes, 100%. If you can land that, you're going to get a kill. But Slippery Jalapeno and Ragnar have done such a good job of avoiding that. I mean, the Melio right now with the counterpick, the vacuum counterpick at the Blitzcrank, only dying once. So 1-1-8 scoreline right now for Ragnar. And man's looking great on this pick, and it's been a priority for both games in this series so far, and I guess I'm starting to see why.
Oh yeah, and it's just really dire straits right now. I mean, the gold lead doesn't really indicate it, but it's the gold distribution. It's Blitzcrank and it's Blitzcrank and Galio, and then your main carries are 0-2, 0-2, and 1-4. So it's
So who do you look to?
I mean, honestly, like
that late game damage. I don't know. I like this though. It looks like they're willing to flip the game state here, and honestly, I would be looking to do the same thing if I'm Lycoris. I'd look to say, just start this. We're gonna see if maybe we can we can force a fight, or even better, just get this Baron. And they're gonna try to burn it.
Yeah, they're gonna burn it down. They're gonna claim the Drake here. Arrow is up, so Kritz is hiding in the bush. They're gonna get on Ragnar. So it
we
looks
go.
like instead of flipping it, they're gonna look for the team fight instead. Ragnar's living a very, very long time, but there goes everybody into the backside. So many knockups coming through. Chris 10 gonna get jumped on. He will get taken down by Swag as Warrior Tofu gonna get put into the death room. He's not gonna get taken down. Slippery Jalapeno is still alive, and Woody is the only man left flashing, trying to get the kill. Nothing's gonna happen, and they burger flip the game on its head. 5K gold lead in favor of PFG.
I asked the question before. I'll ask it one more time. As Lycoris, what do you do to get back into this game? And for them, they say that they want to flip this Baron, they want to challenge the game state, and they do it, and honestly, I like it. I think it's probably your only play at that point. An early Baron, if you're able to sneak it, even just grab it. If you lose a few members, it's fine, but the end result, everybody gets wiped. The Baron goes down. Tier 1 top is going to follow as well. Tier 1 mid, that looks like it's going to go, so yeah, things go from bad to worse here real quick. We're sitting on about a 7K gold lead at the 21-minute mark. Baron resets are going to come in. All the gold is going to be spent, and expect a few tier 2s at the minimum to be going down within the next minute or two.
Yeah, I mean, like the only game plan I could possibly think of to try to bring the game back from the brink is you just play to keep the Jinx alive, because the Jinx got ran down by the Wukong. And Slippery Jalapeno flashing out, gonna still get hit with the hook, gonna get slowed up, gonna get taken down. Teleport coming in by Warrior Tofu, taunt onto the Blitzcrank. He will get taken down next as Hero's entrance comes through, gonna get 2 knockups as Dive is gonna have to flash out. Chris Teddy's still getting shredded by the Swain. He still gets hit by everything there, even in the backside by the Swain. As a Cyclone coming through, Swag is godlike in this team fight as the heals coming through enough, and that is going to be a quadra kill going over to Afro Zonite as PFG are running this game through. 11K, 10.5K gold lead in their favor at 22 minutes.
10.5K, 11K, there's no difference. This game, it's so doomed right now here, and looks like the Goblins are poising to take over this game right away. This inhibitor is going to fall, and rightfully so. I like this decision. The Ash Arrow is going to come through. I'm going to see that. That's cheeky there from Jalapeno, but yeah, at this point, you can look to clear maybe a couple of these camps. Nope, instead we're going to reset. Nope, just kidding. Swag's going to path towards that bot, clear that blue again, take that stuff up. But yeah, you've got that mid inhibitor now. You look to push one of these side lanes, start pressuring, take those tier 2s, eventually the tier 3s, and then the inhibitors. And before you know it, either 3 inhibitors are down or the base is down.
Oh, Swag gonna get hooked up, gonna get CC'd a little bit, but there goes the Stand United coming through, trying to save his juggler, and he will be successful in that escapade. As Braindead Donkey does not have the cease and desist, they're still chasing, they still want this. As there's the knockup, Braindead Donkey will get taken down, interrupting him out of the Vault Breaker, and so that will be another kill going over. Swag does not have the second Cyclone, but they really don't need it, as they will take down Woody 0, 5, and 0. They're going to taunt him under the tower, not going to do enough damage. There goes Super Mega Death Rocket. They're full HP, so you're not going to even tickle them here. As, again, they're just forcing fights, and they are just losing them all here.
Imagine being Blitzcrank, pulling an enemy, and then that enemy healing more than the damage you could ever do. That's the state of this game right now. I'm just watching, and it's funny. You pull the Swain under, and the Swain's tanking turret. You're trying to do as much damage as you can, and he's actually healing the whole time.
Swain
this whole time too. The Slippery Jalapeno is pushing top. He just grabbed a tier 2. That's 600 gold in his pocket. Like, the wallets are out, then there's definitely a diff right now.
It's like Chris 10. Wow, damage. That is a lot of damage. They're not even trying to peel him right now. As the arrow is coming through. Why are you pulling the Wukong in? Don't pull the Wukong in! As you doom your ADC to the death chamber. As Wukong will claim a double kill. There's a triple kill. You're not going to quite land that hook again, but it will not matter. It is going to be absolute domination here pre-25 minutes. As PFG will absolutely massacre Lycoris in this game too here, and they will advance in the standing to tie up with DOGG.
That's right. And in the standings, it may have been close, but in the series, it was not even. It's quite a massive bit of difference there. I mean, you got to be feeling great right now if you're the Goblins. At the end of the day, you end up cleaning that up there. It's a clean 2-0. You know that you're happy. You feel like you played well. You drafted well game one. You drafted well game two, and you executed exactly like how you needed to. And if you're like Chorus now, you got to really wonder how you're going to play out the rest of this. Of course, you got one more week here. There's a good chance that you could bounce back, end up with something like a 5-2 score line. That's not terrible by any means, but there's no doubt right now that the Goblins moving up to that 5-1 score line feel great. Definitely up in that top number one right now at the minimum, tied for. So yeah, the Goblins played exactly like how they're supposed to play, played very well as a team. You got to give respect to that. And I think really it was off the back of Swag once again. Game one, he popped off. Game two, he was outpacing Brain Dead Donkey so well, so hard, and ended up getting the 6, prioritizing a ton of kills there. And he ends up with a 13-2 scoreline, 700 gold bounty.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Swag was absolutely balling for both these games. And it's just really like I'll say the biggest detriment for Lycoris is that it just seemed really every single time they looked for fights, they were just so it was like so disjointed. Because like Blitzcrank is actually a counter to like shield champions in general because the ultimate breaks all shields. So if you just hold it off for like half a second, you break the Shen shield, you still burst down whoever you're killing. So it's like it's really just like these small nuanced things that could have won them fights, but it's just like they just kept stacking up so much that they just ended up losing. So it's
You, you,
just
you got to look
really
at the
rough.
big. You're right for sure. You got to look at the bigger picture too. If you're like Chorus as well, I feel like game one and game two. I just don't think that the drafts are really there for the team, especially like the R3 pick, the Blitzcrank. We both talked about. We thought it was a good counter pick in a vacuum, but it doesn't really suit the team that you want to end up drafting, especially in phase two. Maybe they had a bit of an idea. I feel like they wanted to grab the Ari, but it was banned, and that might have thrown them off a little bit. But yeah, picking the Galio when you know that the Swain is up. Obviously, we saw Afro play at game one and in game two. There's no difference. He plays it to great effect again, once again, and yeah, he just ends up soaking up so much damage in this team comp that has to come into him. And the worst part is that about your team comp that you have to go into, it's that you actually have no damage too. So Swain can just heal the whole time. It's just a big draft gap. It feels like for game one and in game two, absolutely no question about it. So
Yeah, it was just like they kept forcing fights that they can't really force, and they're just really disjointed. So it's like it's just in the end, PFG they just end up capitalizing on that kind of chaos, and they just end up taking all the fights. So I mean, it's going to be 2-0 victory here for the side of PFG. They will move up in the standings. They will go up. I'm assuming they'll go up to they'll tie with DOGG. Not quite sure what the game score is, but we'll see what that is later on. We'll get updated. But for now, that's going to be it from us. It's it from me from Banana Bird XD and my co-host Turk. And we'll see y'all later.
yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.
I can hear the sound of a heartbeat before it goes out. Won't ever leave my memory of bloodshed all around. I can see a tear on my father's face before it falls out. Oh, my enemy, how could I have ever let you down? When all these trees us grow, cut our teeth and make our bones right here. We play with shields made of stone, share our dreams and sit our thrones. Be still, 'cause I see smoke up ahead, and I got steel in my hands. Return like warriors, I swear that we'll find glory up ahead. Tell me, where is my home? I don't recognize the faces anymore. No, where is my friend? The one I've known since I was only just a kid. I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.